With suicide rates skyrocketing amongst Black children and adolescents, there's never been a better time for increased support and awareness for mental health issues. Better Tomorrow BTST Services and the Black Mental Health Alliance are partnering with actress Taraji P. Henson's Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation for an upcoming conference. Here to tell us more are Jada McCrae and Chris Simon from BTST Services. Welcome, you two.
Thank you for having us.
So tell us a little bit more about this issue and this foundation, Taraji's foundation in particular.
So Taraji started this foundation about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was due to some struggles that her dad, who was Boris Lawrence Henson, was struggling with mental health, and even herself, and she saw it in her son. And one thing that she mentioned that was an issue for her was about finding a safe place for who she felt as African Americans to be able to find a place to come speak with therapists or find someone, or just because of that stigma related to mental health. Right. So she started a foundation to try to use her platform to expand the conversation about mental health. So her foundation will connect individuals in urban communities with therapists, and for those that don't have insurance or ability to pay, they'll provide funding to engage them in therapy.
Just really amazing. I know BTST there you go. Services here in Baltimore and beyond throughout Maryland is really committed to that same mission. Absolutely. Why did this make sense for you to partner on this conference, the Can We Talk conference coming up?
Well, I think that one of our things is breaking the stigma that's related to mental health. So we started this campaign called Mental Plus Healthcare, where we try to work with and engage individuals with influential platforms that have stories of mental health to come out to speak about this. So an event that we did with Charlemagne the God, Hayden Hurst, and Taraji P. Henson. So when we saw this opportunity, it was like, this is a great synergy, you know, for her to use her platform to speak about the work that we do and the need for it in the community. It's easier for people to listen to her than to listen to me.
Right.
people lend their ear there a lot more. Right. And once they talk about it, it's like, okay, she's doing this. I look up to her and she's doing this. Okay, I can do this as well then.
And can you speak to some of the issues within the Black community when we're talking about mental health? What are some of the hurdles that people face?
We face a lot of barriers in the Black community regarding mental health. And one of those, as Chris spoke about earlier, was the stigma that people often speak of. People just suffering in silence and not speaking to the pain that we as a Black community experience every day. In Baltimore City, you see it all of the time where, you know, there are shootings and people are grieving and have loss. And there's a lot of hopelessness now. And as we know, this trauma and the suicide rates for Black children has doubled over the last decade. So now we need to address these issues so that we as a community can begin to heal. And one of the first steps to healing is to reach out to get the services that we're providing.
And I think a lot of times back in the day, it was sort of like, just toughen up or just suck it up. And now we're realizing that that is not the way. That is only the way for increased suicide rates that we're seeing amongst our children.
Absolutely. And one of the best things about millennials is that they're a very expressive generation. And they're speaking to the pain that many of us have felt for many years. And so now if you speak to it, the first step is always to ask for help. And when you ask for help, the help is here. And we can give you kind of a step-by-step guide to healing.
And they also didn't know. I mean, access to social media or just platforms to be able to get your voice out. So a lot of the things that they might have thought, Jada's speaking about her age frame, but I'm just kidding. But some of those individuals from yesterday, let's use that, might not have had an opportunity to express and understand that somebody else is going through this as well. They thought only this happened in their home.
Right.
And so now that we're speaking our stories, there's a commonality and there's a sense of community that comes out with sharing your story. And when you hear that someone else has experienced these things, it gives you more comfort to know I'm not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Absolutely. So we've got this conference coming up. Thank you guys so much for being here to tell us more about it. But you can learn more about that conference at canwetalkevent.com. That is coming up pretty soon, right in D.C. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.